My name is Naveen, and I am the trainer for this training program. The agenda for this evening tonight is we will do a quick round of introduction, and then we will talk about what business analysis is, and then I'll make a case as to the significance of a BA role in a company, and then I'll also explain why you should become a business analyst. I'll make the case from three different dimensions. One is from Software Hall of Shame, the second one is IT industry stats, the third one is a skill set standpoint. I'll do a real-time demonstration of why BA is a top IT job. Following that, we will look at the training topics and the format of the training itself. Again, as I mentioned, my name is Naveen and I possess a master's in computer science, master's in business administration, all from Texas State University. I am a PFMP certified candidate, which is Portfolio Management Professional. I am a PMP certified candidate. I'm a PMI PBA, Professional in Business Analysis, all from PMI. And I'm also a certified Scrum Master. I have about 15 years of experience in different domains across United States in different capacities. I started as a business analyst, worked my way up to become a senior business analyst, and then moved on to become a project manager, program manager, and currently work as a portfolio manager for a Fortune 100 companies in Los Angeles, California. I also doubled up my role as a UAT lead, as a QA, BA/QA, or BA/subject matter expert. Besides that, I've been training for about 8 years now and trained people in the areas of business analysis and project management, close to 1,000 students. So as I mentioned, my experiences span across different domains. Some of them are finance. Within finance, I had opportunities to work in banking, credit cards, and mortgage. I have experiences in the insurance industry, in healthcare industry, both on the payer and provider side, in pharma domain, in travel, telecom, supply chain, manufacturing, engineering, operations, and quality. So my experience spans across a variety of domains in different capacities. I'm also a member of various professional bodies here, such as PMI, Project Management Institute, Agile Alliance, Scrum Alliance, American Marketing Association, American Society for Quality, Toastmasters, and other professional bodies. So the reason why I'm trying to introduce myself from a 360-degree view is I want you to understand that the knowledge and the information that we will be bringing to this platform is not just from my education or work, but it's a combination of various experiences in different domains and different roles. And also my association with the industry organizations will enable me to give you the information that is needed for you to become a business analyst in 2017 and beyond. Okay. So with that said, let's go ahead and get you to introduce yourself. I see we have Pawan. Pawan, can you please unmute and introduce your name, education, work experience, current location, and enrollment status? Pawan, are you able to speak? I see that you have unmuted your audio line, but it looks like you're not able to speak. No, Pawan, you are not audible. Can you quickly dial in using a phone just so that you can speak if you cannot speak over the VoIP line? Okay. All right, so you can just type your information here in the chat window, Pawan. Also, along with that, if you can just publish your, send me a personal email or personal chat message with your email ID and phone number. Our training coordinators will be able to get back to you with all the information. Okay. And Sagar, welcome. Can you please introduce yourselves? You may have to unmute your audio line. Sagar, you may have to click on the green mic icon to unmute. Sagar, are you able to speak? Okay. Sagar, if you can also just dial in from your telephone, you can just dial in using your cell phone or your landline, and you can speak to me. Okay. So just a quick note here. Our classes are highly interactive, which means it would require for us to have real-time interaction. I will be asking questions and you will be answering questions, and I will be providing a lot of IT, non-IT examples. So it will help if you can have a mechanism to communicate with me over the voice line. That would be great. All right. I see another person here. NDIDI, can you please introduce yourselves? Can you unmute your audio line and introduce by mentioning your name, your education, work experience, current location? Okay, so as you're getting set up here, yeah. Hi, I see a new caller here. Can you please identify yourself?
Ndidi.
I'm sorry?
Ndidi.
Yeah, NDD, can you please introduce what's your education, your work experience, what's your current location?
My name is Ndidi. My education, I have a MBA. I have an undergrad degree in writing. My work experience, I've been in IT for about maybe 8 years. I've been in the workforce for about 15. My current location is New Jersey. And my enrollment status, what do you mean, school?
Yeah, if you're enrolled in this training program or yet to enroll.
No, but I'm looking forward to taking the PMI PBA certification.
Okay, all right. So are you able to view the screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. Can you just send your email address along with the phone number in a private message to the organizer so that they can send you some information after this class about the PMI PBA certification along with the recording of this class?
Is that for Bean? I mean, is that in the Bean?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. I'll quickly talk about what business analysis is, and then we will understand what is it that the BA industry has for you with the opportunities, and then the path for certification and how you should go about it. So to understand the concept of business analysis, we need to first understand each of these terms independently. So how do you define a business? A business is an organization that is concerned with providing products or services to satisfy customer requirements. To satisfy customer requirements. For example, Apple is a business, and Apple provides certain products like iPhone, iPad, iPod, MacBook. Ford is a business. It provides some products like cars. Similarly, you have businesses that provide services. For example, can you think of an example of a business that provides some services? Can I get you to respond either in the chat window? You can just send your answers in the chat window real quick. Any names of companies that provide some services? Okay, yeah, we got some examples here. For example, we have banking organizations. Bank of America provides financial services. Or mailing services, FedEx. Or some of the companies like Infosys that provide IT services. Or hospitals, healthcare organizations that provide healthcare services. Or this company here, Global Tech, it provides educational services. Right? So each of these are providing a specific product or a service which will satisfy the customer requirement. So the requirement here for you is to understand the BA concepts, to learn the BA concepts, to get PBA certified. to get PBA certification, or for some of you it is to be able to get a job. Now that is your requirement, and this organization will fulfill that requirement. This organization will fulfill that requirement. However, some of these businesses perform or provide these products or services with an intent of making money, or sometimes it is not for profit. For example, all the names that I mentioned just now, they're all for-profit oriented organizations. However, there are non-profit organizations such as United Way, Salvation Army, Red Cross. These are all non-profit organizations. So now that we know what businesses are, let's go ahead and quickly understand what analysis is. What is analysis according to you? Can you quickly type your answer in the chat window? How would you define analysis? Or if you can speak over the voice line, NDD, that would be great as well. How do you define analysis? NDD, are you able to speak?
My phone is on mute. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
You're asking me how do I define analysis?
What is analysis according to you? What does it mean?
Analysis is basically the research of work. Research.
Okay. All right.
I would say, you can say it's research, you can say it's precision. It's mostly research. Analysis is research. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay. All right, we're getting some responses in the chat window. Understanding the concept in the process of solving something. That is analysis. Okay, very good. And somebody is saying analysis is analyzing. That is my #1 answer that I'll always get in every batch. Right? So analysis, simply put, let me give you a few one-liners. Analysis is discovery rather than invention. Discovery rather than invention. So what do we mean by that? See, we must have heard the term Columbus discovered the United States. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Columbus discovered the United States while Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Now what does it mean? Columbus just got on a ship in Europe. He got lost, and then he saw a piece of land and he said, hey, here is the United States. But did Thomas Edison one day, was he walking on a street and then found a light bulb lying around? No, that's not what was the case. But instead, Thomas Edison had to understand the raw materials required for the bulb. He had to understand the science behind a light bulb. He had to understand the components that he needs, and he had to understand the design aspect, the development aspect of it. And then he built it. And then he tested it. Finally, he said, hey, here is a light bulb. So you and I as business analysts are required to discover the problems an organization is facing. See, every organization will have a set of problem statements. Every organization will either try to solve problems related to finances, increase their revenues, reduce their costs, improve their operating margins, or trying to be efficient. So we are not going to be inventing, but we have to discover the organizational problems, although it is a fact rather than opinion. See, a lot of people will say, hey, in my opinion, I think the customer needs this or that. No, it is not an opinion. Find the fact. In fact, one of the reasons why I ask people to introduce themselves is I want to know the fact. Not everybody is here for just a job. Somebody is here for a certification. People can be here for a job. Somebody can be here because they already have a job, but they just want to get a hold of the tools and the templates. Or somebody wants to be here because they want to understand the BA related concepts because they may have to deal with the BAs as part of their job. So we need to find the fact rather than opinion. Also ask the right questions rather than answers. Ask the right questions. What do you mean by asking the right questions? What is it that they're trying to accomplish? Who is it that will be involved in accomplishing what they want to accomplish? By when do they want to accomplish? So it's asking the right questions rather than answers. It is why rather than how. See, for example, let's say we are building a house, we're constructing a house. And then the house requirements are 5 bedrooms, 4 bath, 3 garage port, 1 living room and a kitchen. It's a 6-month long project. Let's say it's a $1 million home. And then suddenly your customers come back to you in about a couple of months into the project and say, hey, we need you to build a helipad on top of the house. Now, why do they want to build a helipad on top of the house? That should be your first question. Do they have a helicopter? Or do they think it's just fancy to have one? The how part will kick in later. How do you want me to build a helipad? Whether the design will accommodate it, whether the structure will accommodate it, that's the secondary aspect. But the primary aspect is, why do you need a helipad on top of the house? Also, is the problems rather than solutions. See, it kind of goes back to the same point which I mentioned earlier. Every organization has a problem statement. What is the problem statement about? Is it improving the ROIs, return on investment? Is it getting a better net present value? See, for example, in an insurance company today, it might take about 3 months to process a claim. Are you trying to reduce the time taken to process a claim down to 2 months or down to 1 month or 15 days? Or there could be a bank which might be trying to provide round-the-clock services because they want to improve the customer retention. Now that's a problem statement. So how do they provide that answer? That is the secondary aspect. That will come in later. There are different types of people to address the solution part, the how part, the answer part, the invention part. But our job as a business analyst is to also understand the outcomes. What is the outcome? For example, you are here and what is the outcome for you? The outcome is BA concepts. The outcome is BA concepts. You want to be able to learn the BA topics. You want to be able to get a BA job, or you want to be able to have a BA certification. So that is the outcome. The process comes in later. The process part will kick in later. What is the process here? Are we going to do an online training? Is this an in-class training? Is it a weekday batch, weekend batch, morning batch, evening batch? All of that will come in later. But first we need to understand what the outcome is. Are you here to become a BA? Are you here to become a project manager? Are you here to become a QA or somebody else? What is the outcome? So to summarize, analysis is discovery rather than invention, fact rather than opinion, questions rather than answer, why rather than how, problems rather than solutions, outcome rather than process. So generally I would encourage the students to remember these one-liners for analysis because they will serve a very good purpose for you in answering an interview question. Okay, so now who is a business analyst? A business analyst is, in reality, an individual who performs the discipline of business analysis by identifying the business need, number 2, gathering the requirements, number 3, analyzing the requirements, and number 4, documenting the requirements. Only 4 simple tasks. I have a question and I request you to respond in the chat window by typing a yes or a no. Do you live in a perfect world? If yes, type yes. If not, type a no. Do you live in a perfect world? Okay. Can I get some more people to respond real quick in the chat window? Do you live in a perfect world? Yes or no, in general? All right, excellent. So people are saying no. No, we don't live in a perfect world. We don't live in a textbook world, right? If BA was just these 4 different tasks, guess what? By now you would have been a business analyst. You don't need this training. But in reality, the story is a little different. So what is the reality? So let me just make a quick note here. There are 2 types of BA roles. One is management business analyst. One is a management business analyst. The second one is a IT business analyst. See, you are here to become an IT business analyst. Management business analyst is an individual with a MBA degree from Ivy League college or non-Ivy League college who will go into an organization, look at their accounting practices, financials, and then suggest some steps to improve the profitability or improve the organization. But IT business analyst is an individual who will go into an organization, look at the IT landscape, understand what they need from a computer software standpoint, and document it so that that software can be built. The problem is there are two groups of people in a company. One is the business users, the second one is the technical teams. See, business users are individuals who have a specific function or a job. For example, in a hospital, doctor is a business user, nurse, front desk receptionist, billing analyst, sales analyst, or if you go to, let's say, a warehouse, there is a floor supervisor, warehouse manager, there's a trucker. They have a core job. Or if you go to HR department, there's a payroll analyst or a HR manager, the training manager. Or if you go to a marketing department, there's a marketing analyst, marketing manager. Or if you go to research and development department, there's a scientist, senior scientist, etc. So there are different people that have a specific function or a role that they need to perform, and they will do that with the aid of a computer software. So they speak a different language. But then on the other side, there's a second group, which is the technical group, like programmers, support people, DBAs, database administrators, testers, architects. All these people will fall into the technical teams category, and they speak a different language. So there's a huge gap between business users and the technical teams. So you and I as business analysts will have to bridge that gap. So this is who you are, this is who I am, put your name, put your picture in the circle. So who is a business analyst in reality? In reality, it's a multifunctional role. Besides being a bridge between these two groups of people, your role might vary a little bit depending on the organizational preferences and the team's capabilities. So BAs do elicit, analyze, communicate, validate the requirements. And then the most important thing is BAs are domain independent and technology independent. So let me just give you one tip here. If you're trying to do a job interview, the first question, or the most oftentimes you'll be asked a question, which is, why should we hire you as a business analyst? You don't have any prior experience in this domain. That's a common question. How do you answer that? You just don't say, hey, yeah, you know what, yeah, give me a chance, I'll do the job. No, that's not going to fly. So the way to handle a situation like that is, you need to understand very clearly what a BA does. So the job of a BA is to identify the need, gather the requirement, analyze them, and document them. And they need to do that within a framework of a particular software development lifecycle methodology, SDLC methodology, like Waterfall or Scrum or RUP or something like that. So to answer a question like that, I would say, hey, look, I know what business analysis is. I am strong in the task related to business analysis, which is understanding the need, gathering the requirements, documenting them, and working with different types of people to build an application. So that role doesn't differ from a domain to domain. Yes, there is some usefulness of having a basic understanding of the domain process, but that is not a core requirement. That is not a bottleneck. If I don't have it, it's not going to be a bottleneck or an impediment. For example, I started as a business analyst with a credit card company. Then I went on to become a business analyst in an insurance company. Then I went on to become a business analyst in a pharmaceutical company. No experience, no understanding of any of these domains. Each time it was the first time. Then I went on to become a business analyst for a telecom company. Then in a sales organization, a media organization, travel company. in supply chain. So each time I had no experience. In spite of that, I still got a job as a business analyst. It's because BAs are domain independent, so you had to make the case. What about technology independence? See, in a company, they can use a specific technology. For example, in company 1, they can use .NET technologies. Company 2, they can use Java technologies. In company 3, they can use some other technologies. But why is it that you as a business analyst don't have to know the technology or programming? Because it's not your job, it's the job of the technical teams. Technical teams are building the solution. Technical teams are the ones that are doing the programming, not you as a BA. So therefore, you are also technology independent. Okay. So anyway, let me go ahead and quickly talk about the other roles or interactions that you may have as a business analyst in 2017 and beyond. Number one, previously BAs were confined to the requirements phase, but now they're increasingly involved in understanding the high-level needs, interacting with the project sponsors, the upper management, and then working with the project manager in charting the scope, and then working with the users to gather the requirements, then working with other people, working with the testing teams, development teams. So they are not just confined to one particular phase of the project, but they are almost engaged in almost all the phases of the project, right from the discovery or initiation phases all the way down to the deployment phases. Besides that, you also have to play other roles. You have to double up. You have to wear multiple hats, like a project manager hat, testing hat, production support, or sometimes even a sales consultant or a business consultant. Now, why do you want to do a sales consultant job as a BA? Sales consultant or business consultant is individual who would actually go out and do some road shows about the product or software. Because you as a business analyst are the one that is familiar and would have gathered the requirements, because you know what the system is capable of, you have to talk about it. That's what sales consultant here in this case. So one of the other questions that you can be asked in a job interview is, how would you define a business analyst? If you have to give one word answer or one phrase answer, you know, oftentimes I feel that BA is like a superman or a superwoman. But in reality, BA is more like a handyman or a handy person who can do a little bit of everything: facilitator, moderation, skilled listener, team leader, visionary, troubleshooter, SME, project management, testing, and more. And why is it that the BA is actually doing all of these things, and how did it change? After 2008 recession, the role of a BA has changed significantly. The role of a BA has transformed a lot. If you were to become a business analyst before 2008, you probably would not be doing so many of these things. But actually, BA job became very important in an organization, and then they added these other things which are not necessarily difficult. So let me go ahead and show you the importance of a business analyst. What happens if there's no BA in a company or in a project? Some of you may have seen this, some of you may have not seen this. Those of you that did not see it, pay attention. On the top row, I'm going to be calling this far left box as number 1. This is how the customer explained it. The customer said, hey, I want a multi-tiered ladder to be hung by a branch of a tree. To be hung by a branch of a tree. And then this is how the project leader understood it. The project leader thought it has to be a swing that could be hung by 2 branches of a tree. This is how the architect designed it. Look at the complex architecture. The tree itself is supported by 2 branches rooted into the ground, and then there's no trunk. Our trunk is chopped off. Look at number 4. This is how the programmer wrote it. It's not even functional. They just tied this to the trunk. This is how the business consultant described it. A nice, comfortable sofa with all the beautiful sunlight in the background. That's what their job is, right? People who are trying to sell something, they'll paint a pretty picture. But let's look at bottom row to the far left, number 6. How was the project documented? No documentation. What did the operations team install? A piece of rope. But how was the customer billed? Customer was built for a roller coaster. So I have a quick question here. Please, if you can respond in the chat window, that would be fantastic. Are you trying to get into business analysis or IT because you're passionate about IT, or because you know that there is a lot of money and you want to share the pie? Can I get a quick response in the chat window here, please? Okay, good. See, I am here for money. Okay, the reason why I am in IT is because there's a lot of money. Otherwise, I would be doing something else, right? So almost in every batch, we have students coming from diverse domains. We have people who have no association with IT or business analysis. And 90% of them will say that it's for money. The other 10% are shy to say that it's for money, so therefore they'll just add it to the passion. But if some people may have passion and money interest, so that's fine. But anyway, let's move forward. How was it supported? No support whatsoever. What is it the customer really needed? A tire that could be hung by a branch of a tree. See, in this entire story, there is no business analyst. If there was a BA, guess what? That person would have started from number 10. Remember, analysis, discovery, asking the right questions. Why? What is the outcome? Identifying the problems, understanding the facts. Because a BA would do all that, once they do that, then they will document it. So my number 6 would be number 2. Everybody would work off of these documents. And then it would be a standard reference. So if BA is missing from the picture, things can be chaotic. People can do their own thing without any reason or without any rationale. Why should you become a business analyst? Why not somebody else? Let me give you some quick examples. iPhone. So we all know that iPhone is a product of Apple, and it's a pretty popular product across the globe. Do you think they always had their success at this level? What inspired Apple and Steve Jobs to come up with iPhone? Did they have any other product similar to iPhone prior to that? Can I get a response in the chat window, please? What do you think inspired Steve Jobs or Apple to come up with an iPhone? Okay, some of you are guessing that it's probably an iPod or something like that. But they had a product called as Apple Newton. Does anyone remember seeing Apple Newton? See, at least I have not seen one myself. It's a PDA type of a device which was supposed to work just like an iPhone, pretty much. And they put this product out in 1996. And within 6 months, they had to pull it back from the market. They stopped the production and then they canceled this. See, we all think, oh, Apple is a fantastic company, they never have any failures. But guess what? They have their own share of failures. Oh, Google, what is Google? Somebody is saying Google is a search engine. Yeah, Google.com is a search engine. Google is the name of a company which is based out of Mountain View, California. Right? How many products do you think Google has altogether? Google has, any guesses? Okay, some are saying probably 15, somebody is saying 50, somebody is saying 100. So Google has close to 1,000 products, close to 1,000 products. But why is that we don't know about all those 1,000? For example, do you know about Google Scout, Google Catalog, Google Answers, Google Friend Connect? No, we don't. Why? because not every product that they come up with is commercially successful. Microsoft, it started as a pioneer in the IT industry. Microsoft was the leader in the IT space, but today it is trailing behind the small social media companies and other mobile organizations or mobile device companies. Why? Because they have a lot of problems. I can go on and on about many organizations that had problems to survive. And by the way, Hall of Shame, Software Hall of Shame is not necessarily recognized or accredited body or organization. So you would have Hall of Fame, like Music Hall of Fame, Acting Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame, meaning someone who did very well would be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now Hall of Shame is somebody who did not do very well would be inducted into Hall of Shame. So some enthusiasts came across these companies and then they created some of these groups online. So Wipro, which is a service providing giant, IT service providing giant, was providing support services to one of the clients in the banking space. How many of you actually know the bank balances on your accounts on a daily basis down to the penny? Do you know what your bank balances are on a daily basis down to the penny? No, at least I don't know. I know at a high level what my balances are, but I don't necessarily know what it is down to the penny. So two people took advantage of that fact and started transferring 0.1 pennies to an account that they controlled. They started transferring 0.1 pennies to an account that they controlled. And then over a period of 3 years, they were successful in stealing about $3 million from different clients' accounts. So Wipro, who is supposed to provide these support services to the banking customers, should have built some checks and balances in place to stop these fraudulent transfers, unauthorized transfers. But it failed. It failed big time. Why? 2008 financial recession in United States. What is the reason? Does anyone know why we had financial collapse? Any guesses, anybody? Okay, somebody is saying, oh, it's because of the subprime mortgage, right? We all heard the term in news or in documentaries or other articles. So what is subprime mortgage? Giving away loans to people that did not necessarily have the ability to pay them back. So are you saying that the lenders did not know that a particular loan requester had a bad credit score or had a bad debt to income ratio or bad loan to value ratio? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe their systems were faulty. Maybe their systems could not catch that. So that is one of the reasons. Or sometimes you'll hear on the news that a particular drug or a medicine has been pulled back from the shelves of the pharmacy. Why? Why was it pulled back? So are you saying that the pharmaceutical companies did not know that these drugs would pose a threat or would have side effects on the patients? Maybe not. Maybe they did not know that at the time of their clinical trials. Maybe they had faulty clinical trial management systems. So irrespective of the industry, irrespective of the popularity, irrespective of the size of the company, guess what? Their software will always have problems and software will always fail. Why do they fail? So let me quickly run you through some metrics. Forrester Research says poorly defined applications, miscommunication between business and IT. Remember that bridge diagram I showed you a few minutes ago, where you are that bridge between two groups? So basically what they're saying is bad BA job, no BA, will lead to 66% projects failing every year, costing $30 billion just in the United States alone. 60 to 80% of the projects fail because of poor requirement gathering activity. Anytime you see the term requirements or requirement gathering, just know that it's a BA task. And then there's a group called a Standish group. They put together a chaos report. And in 1994, out of every 100 projects, 16 projects were successful, 31% were challenged. Challenge meaning a product would be defective, or a software can be defective, or it could have delayed. It could have been delayed in terms of its schedule, or it could have exceeded the original budget, so cost overruns, etc. Failure meaning project failed. 53% failed. See, in 1994, I don't think every household had a computer, right? We didn't have a computer per household. We didn't have these many IT people. We didn't have these many resources. But fast forward to 2015 and beyond. How many IT people do we have? Everybody is an IT person. A mechanical engineer is an IT person. A student who took writing class in undergrad is an IT person. A management person is an IT person. A lawyer is an IT person. Teacher is an IT person. I had students in the past who were airline pilots. They became business analysts. I had a librarian. I had a flight air hostess who was a student, and she became a business analyst. I had a media journalist. Who became an IT person. I had a medical doctor. I was surprised. She became an IT person, a business analyst. I had a forensic analyst. Biotech people, life sciences people, pharmacy people. Everybody is coming into IT force. Number one. Number two, in 1994, we didn't have a computer per household. How many computers are there today? Every person has many computing devices, more than one computer per person. See, I at least carry about 6 computing devices. Personal laptop, business laptop, work laptop, my 2 smartphones, iPads, work iPad and business iPad. How many websites do we have? How many companies do we have? How many training providing organizations do we have in 2015 and beyond? So the resources are plenty, but look at the success rate. It's only at 29%. The challenge rate is still at 52%. Failure rate has gone down to 19%. Why is the success rate not close to 100%? You have so many people, you have so much of resources. Let's understand why the projects are still not successful. I'm going to be focusing just on whatever is relevant to us as business analysts. Number 3 reason why a project is successful, because of clear statement of requirements. Good BA. Incomplete requirements and specifications. Number 2 reason why projects are challenged. Bad BA. Number 1 reason why projects fail. No BA. So I hope you understood the importance of a business analyst. I'm not just giving you theory, but I'm supporting it with some numbers. Now let's look at the dollars. So those of you who said that you are here in IT because you are passionate about technology, you can close your ears, okay? But there's plenty of money in IT. Every year the spending in IT is a positive trend, except in 2015, in a year-over-year comparison from 2014 to 2015, it was a negative trend. But even during the recession years, I do have data from 2006 onwards. According to Gartner, which is a highly respected source, the spending has been an incremental spend or incremental trend. So in 2017, they're projecting to spend more than $3.5 trillion in the space of IT. So there's a lot of money for everyone. And then finally, there's an opportunity here. There are about 175,000 projects done in the United States. A project in a large firm can be anywhere from $2.3 to $2.5 million average. and then 1.3 to 1.5 in a mid-sized firm, and about 450K in a small size firm. Now, so there's a lot of money. So I told you the importance of a BA. I told you about the money factor. How about the jobs? Out of every 100 jobs, there are 5 architect jobs, 4.2 production support, 3 desktop personnel, 8.4 programmers, 7.7% BA jobs. See, one thing I always hear from people who don't know about BA, oh, BA and QA are one and the same. BA and QA are one and the same. No, they're not one and the same. There are 7.7 or 8 BA jobs out of every 100 jobs, but only 2 QA jobs according to computer economics. Also, BA is known to be growing at a rate of 36%. It is one of the top 10 jobs with a very bright growth outlook. It was also a recession-proof job. The salary is anywhere from 60K to 130K per year if you start off on the right note. I know people who actually earn more than $130,000 as business analysts. Okay, so there are a lot of websites that you can go to search for jobs, but let's take a quick look at dice.com. Let me search for a business analyst role across United States as we speak right now, today, Thursday, January 12th at 7:12 Pacific and 10:13 or 10:12 Eastern Standard Time. See, there are 39,200 jobs. Let's search for QA jobs. 25,000. See? Let's search for Java programmer. There's 14,000 jobs. So you can take any IT job and compare it with business analyst role, and then you'll find more number of BA jobs than any other job. Do you know why? Any guesses? Can I get a quick chat answer from some of you? Why do we have more BA jobs than any other IT job in the United States? Okay. So the answer is because BA role is a client-facing role. Other resources and roles can be outsourced to other countries like India, Mexico, China, Brazil, etc. But BA role cannot be outsourced. See, that is the reason why. You don't have too many remote BA jobs. That is exactly why you would not have too many remote BA jobs. Okay. Finally, why should you become a business analyst? Because it's technology and domain neutral. We covered that. Low barriers of entry. You don't need to have a specialized degree. You don't need to have an MBA or master's in computer science. Anybody can become a business analyst without a degree or with a degree, any kind of degree. Once you're a BA, it can act as a springboard to other careers. For example, you can become a project manager. 80% of the students that I trained so far that advanced in their careers became project managers. Then the other people became functional managers. Some of them became product managers. If you're strong with technology, become a systems analyst, or you can become a subject matter expert. No matter what you choose, the point here that I'm trying to communicate is there's a lot of money. There is a lot of money. Who can become a business analyst? Anybody with a combination of some personal skills like common sense, communication, people skills, and attention to detail, etc. And somebody with an understanding of the process knowledge, and somebody with the understanding of the tools, with the domain understanding. These are the people that can become business analysts, and particularly successful business analysts. Okay. Now let me go ahead and show you the course content. What is it that we will cover as part of this training program? Let me pull up the course content here. See, today this is what we covered. The significance of a business analyst, project failure rate, etc. But in our formal class, we'll be talking about corporate structure and price and positioning of a business analyst. First of all, how many types of organizations are there? What are these different companies? What is the authority of different types of people like project manager, functional manager? How is it that you and I as business analysts are positioned? And then we will talk about what business analysis is, the role of a business analyst, tasks that you should be doing, tasks that you will not do. And then we'll talk about the key phases of a IT project, key people, key activities, key deliverables. We'll have a comparative study between a product lifecycle and a software development lifecycle. And then on the right side you see items in red which indicate the assignments or case studies which you would be doing as part of this training program. And then we will talk about the types of requirements, various types of requirements like functional, non-functional, data, and GUI requirements. And then we will cover different types of software development lifecycle methodology like waterfall methodology, spiral methodology, within which we'll talk about risk management. How do you create a risk register? Agile methodology, extreme programming, Scrum. See, I can guarantee that at least 50 to 60% of you will end up working in a company where they are employing Scrum methodology, because right now that is the methodology that is being used very widely in organizations. So you will be going over the Scrum methodology, and we will be talking about Scrum extensively, particularly with regards to writing user stories, the different types of meetings that a Scrum Master would run, and all of that associate factors. Okay. And then we will look at different types of project documents that span across the project, like planning phase document, discovery phase document, requirements phase document, use cases, UML diagrams, BRDs, PRDs, test cases, test plans, design documents. And not just at this point, it will be concentrated, but it will be spread across the training program. And then we will look at UML. See, as a business analyst, you have to create some UML diagrams. You need to understand what those UML diagrams are about. You need to understand how to create UML diagrams. We will use a tool called as MS Visio. We will learn how to use Visio. And then as a business analyst, you should also have some facilitative leadership series understanding, which is how do you elicit requirements? How do you analyze? How do you brainstorm? How do you conduct a meeting? What do you mean by JAD, RAD? How should you communicate? What are the other skills that you should possess, like preparing status reports, meeting minutes? How do you join web conference? See, some of you had difficulty joining this web conference. In your company, today a lot of companies and pretty much every company has some other kind of web conferencing tool like WebEx or GoToMeeting or Skype or Link or NetMeeting. You should know how to use it. So we will cover all of that. And then there are some BA related concepts, requirements traceability matrix, change request management. These are the terms that you will come across in your day-to-day function as a business analyst in your interaction with other people. You should understand the different types of situation analysis, GAP, SWOT, MOST, PESTLE, CATO. You should also have a thorough understanding of what process reengineering is, or version controlling, different types of contracts, different types of architecture, different standards. And then we will also cover some of the project management concepts. See, I told you that today you as a business analyst will also have to work as a BA/PM. So you need to know the different types of projects. How do you manage risk? How do you manage the schedule? How do you balance the triple constraints? So we will create a project plan using MS Project. And then there are testing concepts that you need to also be mindful of. You as a business analyst will do some manual testing. How do you write a test case? What are the various tools that are out there to perform testing? So we'll cover some of the basics that you need as a business analyst to do the testing activities. But the most important thing is we will cover 7 different domains. Finance. Within finance, we'll talk about banking, mortgage, stocks and bonds, or brokerage industry. Why? Because, see, let's say you're working in a banking organization as a business analyst. You're gathering requirements from the users, and then the user says, hey, I want you to build money transfer feature in the software. You should know what money transfer is, or you should know how loans are given away, how mortgages are given away. Or you should know what different types of stocks are. You should know how the prices of the stocks will fluctuate. Let's say if you're working in healthcare industry, you should know what a healthcare application should do. You should understand what do you mean by patient diagnosis. So that is the reason why we will cover these different domains to give you a high-level overview of the business processes in each of those domains. I'll also cover pharmaceutical domain. For example, what are the various phases in clinical trials? How are drugs discovered? For example, let me ask a question here. I want you to respond in the chat window. How many days will it take to discover a drug? Can I get a quick chat answer? Okay, somebody is saying it can take anywhere from 1 year to 2 years. Somebody is saying 5 to 6 years. Somebody is saying 10 years. I don't think so. See, it depends on the drug and the clinical trial. So if you want to know the true answer to that, if you want to know the answer, which is how long will it take to do the research to discover a drug, we will talk about that in our formal class. Okay, and then we'll cover telecom domain. We will cover billing systems. For example, a lot of people don't understand how the bills are generated. So there is a lot of opportunity. You must have heard in the news that AT&T is purchasing Time Warner. And then Verizon is purchasing some other big company. So there are a lot of jobs and openings in these telephone services providing organizations. So we should understand some of those aspects so that you can be better prepared. So that in a nutshell is about the training course contents. But why should you join this training program and not somebody else? What is it that we do differently? How are we different than others? This is very important, so please pay attention to this. See, I have two clear goals for each and every student. Goal number one is to help a student get a job, right? You should be able to clear a job interview and get the job. What is the point if you're investing time, money, effort and not able to clear a job interview? There's no point. So how do I help you do that? I'll help you because I myself have cleared 75 job interviews as a candidate. See, I conducted an experiment, a real-time experiment. There's nobody in the United States that actually did this. I'm the only one. Over a period of 3 or 4 years, I did about 75 job interviews from 2011 to 2014. In fact, I continuously do the interviews even now also. But these 75 that I'm talking about, for example, these are interviews with companies like Disney, FedEx, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Farmers Insurance. And each time I was either given a job or invited for a second round or a face-to-face round. So the outcome is 100% successful. My success rate is 100%. How did I pull it off? Because interview is not a Q&A. Interview is not a question and answer session. Interview is much more than that. It is a place where you have to brand yourself. It is a place where you have to sell yourself. It is a place where you have to make sure that people are understanding who you are and make sure that people can hire you. You should be able to deliver the value. And in fact, you as a candidate should be able to control the job interview. So we will focus on clearing a job interview from day one of the class. We are not going to be doing it after the fact, after the class is complete. So every day at the beginning of the class, or even during the class in an in-class session, I'll be asking questions and awarding points to students. I'll be keeping a track of the learning. So you're not going to be learning after the course is complete, but you will be learning right from day one of the training program. Number one. Number two, you should be able to answer in such a way that you are able to provide some value and you are able to stand out from the rest of the students or rest of the candidates. See, if there is one job, they're getting 50 resumes. Out of the 50, they'll interview 10 or 15 people. Everybody can talk about BA. Everybody knows about BA concepts. Well, why should you get the job and not somebody else? So you'll be given access to our materials. So let me show you an example here. If you look at the interview tips. See, for example, are you memorable during the job interview? Did you get nervous during the job interview? How do you answer in a structured story format? How do you win the job interview? How do you personalize your brand? How do you decode the interview? How should you avoid appearing too desperate? So we will build all these key concepts around business analysis and help you prepare for the interview from day one of this training program. Besides that, you'll also get a wealth of material. For example, there is a comprehensive student notes that I have created exclusively for the students that I train, where they will be able to read the materials on a daily basis and come prepared to the class, or read off of the materials from this and understand what is being discussed in the class. Everything that you see that is being shared in the class is published here in this guide or notebook. And then for every topic, there is an extra read material that I also will be provisioning you with. For example, we will talk about requirements, but there is an extra read material for requirements taxonomy or requirements. So what is that requirements taxonomy extra read about? For example, everybody will say functional requirements, but here there is a concept called as behavioral requirement. So when you hear the term behavioral requirement in an interview, I don't want you to be confused. I don't want you to be saying, hey, what is behavioral requirements? Or I would rather want you to use the term behavioral requirements in alignment with the functional requirements in an interview and then stand out from everybody else. So out of the 15 people, you're the only one that is giving this extra information. So for every topic, there is an associated extra read material that has been created, and you can refer to that and have some usefulness. And now there are plenty of templates that we'll also provide you with. There are planning phase templates and project management templates, which contains all the different types of project management documents and templates. And then the requirements phase templates, BRDs, SRS, FRS, FRD, use cases. And then there are test phase templates. So you'll have access to all that. So to do your assignments in the class, you'll be using these different templates and tools. And then besides that, you'll also get access to our domain materials. For all the domains that we discuss in the class, I'm going to be providing you with domain materials. For example, electronic medical record, right? So after we discuss this, you can go through this summary. Okay. And then there is almost 10 gigabytes worth of material that is also provisioned to you. And it contains sample resumes, ebooks, and other material that you will have access to. Okay. So we will be provisioning with almost over 10 gigabytes worth of material, and then also you will have access to this blog. By the way, while I'm here, let me go ahead and quickly cover this. So assignments will be posted in the blog, and then you can attach your assignments back, and they will be discussed as required. And then videos are posted, class videos will be recorded, and you will have access to the videos so that you can go back and review the materials. Okay, and other discussion board, any contents, any questions will be posted here. If there's any announcements, I'll be posting it here. Okay, so this is the format of the blog, but that's my goal number one, help you clear a BA job interview. So what is the goal number two? Now that you cleared a job interview, fantastic, you will celebrate and then you want to start the job. But guess what? You never worked as a business analyst. You don't know what it is. So how will you do it? you've got to perform. You need to do the real documents. You need to use the tools and templates. If you don't do it, the company will fire you. So what we do is we will assign each and every individual with a case study in the class. So you'll be creating a project plan, requirements, data dictionaries, GUI screens, risk register, user stories, use cases, test cases, RTM, UML diagrams. I'll be tracking the status. In other words, by the end of this training program, you would have created a complete set of documents that you would create in a real-time BA job. And therefore, you'll be able to sustain in the job. Okay, so goal number 2 is to help you stay in the job and not get fired. Now, what I'm saying here is the knowledge and the information that you will be receiving from this training program will be equivalent to the knowledge of an individual with 5 years of actual experience. With 5 years of actual experience. Because of that, whenever students do an interview, 80% of the students that take this training program are able to clear a job interview in the first shot. It is their first job interview and they're able to successfully clear that. However, what I'm saying is you got to be committed. We will make this class very interactive. We will have a lot of IT examples, non-IT examples, etc. And then there are a lot of exercises. We will do all this for both for in-class and as well as an online class module. And then I want to quickly give some other information pertaining to PBA. Somebody had a question about PBA early on. So there is a specific training, a separate training outside of the BA training, which is for people who already have some BA experience. They can get our PBA training. I'm going to be providing that through this organization. And then we will cover these different domains like needs assessment, business analysis, planning, requirements elicitation, traceability, monitoring, and solutions evaluation. Okay. And we have a variety of features available for the PBA students. One of them is we have a online exam portal, and students will be able to access the online exam portal. So let me just quickly open this here real quick. Just allow me a moment. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat window. I'll be happy to answer your questions. For example, if you look at this, actually let me just go back and open another login here. Okay. So let me just give you a high-level overview here. You have topic-wise and then you have a full-length test. Okay. And what you can do is you will be able to click on topic-wise and it will display all the tests that are available. We have a similar format for PBA as well, and you can just click on a certain test module and then start the test. So let's say here as an example, I'm just starting it with 5 questions, right? So you can click on an option and then you can click on check answer, or it will give you a second option. Again, there's a justification, okay? And then you can go to the next one. So you can do the tests and that will help you in your certification activity. Okay, so here we go with the PMI PBA. So there's a needs assessment. So let's say you've been asked to use Net Promoter Score to measure customer loyalty. So PMI PBA course is a little bit different than regular BA course, and we will cover all of that as part of the course. And then this is the exam module. And then let me just exit here and then show you. If you go to my courses again and click on that, there's a full-length test. So this is the actual full-length 4-hour long 200 question test. So if I click on that start test, it's going to start the timer. See, it's going to be doing a countdown. So this is another option for you as part of our training program. But what I want to bring up right now is I want you to visit our website. Go to globaltech.com, and once you're there, you can click on all courses and choose a course that you're interested in. So there are many courses that are being offered in this company, and you can click on certification courses. For example, if you click on business analysis, and then you can choose which kind of course you want. You want a classroom course or you want an online training program. Let's say if you are choosing classroom training program, right? And then again, there are sub-options. Do you want a 2-day speed program or a 4-day boot camp? So you can select probably, let's say, I want a 2-day speed program. And then scroll down, click on enroll now. Okay. So it has some information, and then there are some dates that are available that have been published, and you can go to class schedule. There are eligibility criteria, any agenda, any information or FAQs. So you can take a look at all of that information. And then not only that, if you want to know which city is this training being provided in, just scroll up a little bit. You see the cities here. So we have a lot of new training batches starting in different cities, and you can check here, or you can contact this number 214-227-6396, or you can leave a message here in the chat window, or you can send an email by going to contact us page. Send an email to info@globaltech.com or fill the information here, and our training coordinators will respond to you pretty quickly. Okay, we have our training coordinator standing by 24/7, and they will respond to your inquiries or questions or any comments or any other items that you may have. Also, because we are in 2017 and because we want to give you a little bit of help here and encourage you, they're running some special promotions, anywhere from 20% to 50% off of the original list price. So contact the training coordinator, give them a call, talk to them, and then tell them, hey, Trainer Naveen mentioned that there is some special going on in this program because it's new year. How can you help me? Okay, and they will definitely work with you. They will make it happen for you. So contact them and then utilize the special promotion. So there are other programs that are also available, and you can go and take a look at all those aspects. But the takeaway from this is our focus is very clearly on helping you become a business analyst, helping you to succeed in your interviews, and helping you to stay back in the job and not get fired, which is what we will be doing. So if you are committed to this training program, you will be benefited. Many students have been benefited, and I request you to please participate in this training program and evaluate. In fact, on any day, we will also do a price match guarantee. We will beat other training programs. You can do a course comparison and see that we are far better than anybody else. So at this time, I would like to open the floor to see if you have any questions. Pawan, do you have any questions? If yes, you got to click on the mic icon in your GoToMeeting control panel, and it will unmute your audio line. Okay. Can you please type your email addresses to me in the chat window so that we can send this information back to you? Okay. So we have a question here. Being a mechanical engineering student on visa, how will this course help me in finding a job? So, that's a great question. As I said, a lot of people from diverse backgrounds do come into the space of business analysis, and our company has helped them with visa, OPT, and in sponsoring that and placing them. Okay, so Sagar, why don't you just type your phone number or email address, or actually both? That would be great in the chat window to me, and I can pass it to our training coordinators. You can send your phone number also. That will be great. They'll give you a call and they'll be able to give you the needed information and guide you. Okay. They also work with a lot of other partners. Our training coordinator will give you all the information. We work with a lot of partners across the industry with tier 1, tier 2, who will be able to place you in a job. But yes, besides the training, they'll also help you with the placement also. That's the point. All right. How about any other questions? Pawan, Ankit, if you have a question, you can type it in the chat window and I can address your question. Please also send your email address and phone number so that we can send you this information about the upcoming courses along with some free materials for you because you're interested in this BA program, and also a link to the pre-recording of the demo session just so that you know what else is being offered. Okay, any other questions, anybody else? I'll just keep the line here open for a couple more minutes. Okay. Hi, James. Welcome. Can you hear me? James, can you click on your mic icon in the GoToMeeting control panel, the little green mic icon or red mic icon, and then it will unmute your audio line. So if you have any other questions, if you require any other extra information about this training program or other training programs, or questions about visa, job placement, feel free to call this number here that is at the top of the screen, 214-227-6396. Send an email by clicking on the Contact Us form, and someone from our team will be responding back to you, and they'll do that pretty quick. Okay. Thank you all very much for your fantastic participation and your interest. I look forward to interacting with each one of you in our formal class, either an online class or an in-class training program. Please have a good night.